Welcome to Goon Squad Anime. We talk about all the anime that you're going to be watching. I'm Rome from Chicago.
I'm MC2K.
I'm Asian Nick.
And today we'll be talking about your favorite anime, My Hero Academia, episode 83, Gold Tips Imperial.
Right, so see everyone. It starts off with we're still seeing everyone practicing, getting ready for the school festival.
Yeah, everyone's still like all super excited. It's like, oh, the school festival. Everyone's like still doing their things. But based on last week where we left off, where we saw Eri walking up to the school or whatever, now we know that there wasn't a giant gap in time.
Oh, I already knew that. I just let you roll with that.
So you let me go ahead thinking for an entire week that there was this whole gap and Eri just finally showed up to the school festival?
So that way I can say that you're wrong.
Oh my God.
And see how you always say, I'm never wrong.
You're a terrible person. So now we know Eri's there.
Right, so basically Principal Nezu basically agrees to let Eri come to the school and basically tour the school. So he thinks that, it's a good idea because she hasn't had that much human interaction that, coming to school and going will be good for her.
Yeah, which I think is a great idea because just throwing her into the school festival, especially since the general criminal is already thinking of doing something crazy and antagonizing UA, that could throw her all off and scare her away from people completely. But letting her like slow walk her each day to meeting new people and being able to interact with people, it definitely helps her out a lot. Right,
because she's very timid right now, and so she's kind of like scared of everyone new because she doesn't know them.
Yeah, she's really only comfortable with Lemillion and Midoriya.
Right.
Everybody else, she kind of like doesn't know what to say to them.
She just hides from them.
Especially your boy Mineta, he already creeped her out.
Yeah, so I want to see what you're going to look like in 10 years. Like, all right, creep.
Yeah, so Lemillion brings her into the school campus and meets Midoriya and all the class A. And so they start walking her around the school and like everyone sees Lemillion and they're like, hey Lemillion, you've been out for a while, and then they see Eri and they're like, oh, is this why you've been out for a while? Because you have a daughter? So they think Eri is like Lemillion's daughter.
And he made it worse. All he did was just smile and like, oh, you're making it worse.
He's like, you're not even saying anything. Even like refuting it. But, there's that. And also, too, when Eri comes out, I forgot who it was, but they were like, hey, Lemillion, is that your daughter?
And he just says nothing the entire time.
I know. It's funny. I think he's just trying to be funny because, he likes it being awkward.
Yeah.
He definitely likes being awkward. Or maybe he does see her as, like, his daughter now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He definitely called, remember last episode, he called her a date, so.
Yeah, but you can still have the little father-daughter date thing.
Oh, that's creepy, man. That's creepy.
I guess.
We still need, like, an exact reference to her age. We know she's younger than them, but, like, how much
yeah, that's true. We truly don't know her age. But then, also after that, they walk around and they start meeting other classes prepping for the school festival, and they run into Class B, and the Class B, one of the Class B representatives was all like, oh, trying to show off, saying, oh, we're going to be doing this and this, we're making this play. It's like a combination between like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones and all this other stuff. They do subtle hints to it. It's kind of funny. And, like, how everything's going to be great. And, one of the other classmates has to wind up knocking him out because, he's going so overboard because Kenda's not there to keep him in check. And then we find out Kenda's not there because, she's taking place in a beauty pageant for the school festival.
Oh, yeah. So then, this beauty pageant. I'm actually curious to see, like, how this goes since... What's her name? The
Class 3, one of the big 3.
Yeah. Since she apparently has been the runner-up every year.
So it's some weird looking.
Which is crazy to me. I was like, how is she the runner-up every year?
Yeah, especially since we see a picture of the person that's winning and like
they look weird.
Weird, I know. Look very weird. So and it's funny because Midoriya gets all shy and he's like, oh, how could you not win, especially with all your and she's leaning over as she's talking to him, and he's like, and then Lemillion's like, body proportions. He's like, yes, body proportions.
Close enough.
Yeah. So that was really funny. And then, then it moves into later on. We see All Might and Midoriya training again in the forest, and he still doesn't have control of it, and he's still trying to work on it. But then Hatsume, the support from the support team, comes in, and basically Midoriya has decided to have her make him a support item, which I guess is going to be either gloves or one glove.
Wouldn't it be cool though, like if she gives him gloves or whatever, and then he can just like snap and shoot stuff, like pew pew.
I mean, I'm probably what they'll do, or like
pew pew.
they'll
Okay,
like
now he's like pew.
they'll probably, or they might like brace himself from the impact, because every time he does it, he had like internal bleeding and then he had like outside scarring.
Yeah, after
so it might like brace the impact and allow him to do it without absorbing so much pain.
Right. I think that glove is probably going to help him learn how to control it, and eventually he might not need it, or he'll still use it, and it'll just be that much better when he actually uses that support item.
So why not just make him instead of the glove, why not just make him a full bodysuit, and that can help him achieve all of this without having to do piece by piece?
Because like All Might said, you don't want to rely on those support items, because he says he's met other heroes that had support items and they relied on them, and basically once those things get destroyed, that they've met an unfortunate fucking death, basically.
Oh, hear me out. So his costume, right? So how his costume is all stupid and like doesn't like complement his powers, because he didn't know what his quirk was before he made it. But you think about how Bakugo's suit is, how he has like the giant gauntlets to help him be able to.
I mean, but he's slowly getting stuff now that complements it, because that's what when girl gave him the boots.
So again,
and the souls.
That's what I'm saying. So if he would have from the beginning he scraps his costume that he has now, completely changes it to where it can fit towards it.
I mean, he'll do that eventually when he probably becomes a pro, but like right now he's like.
Right. I don't think you're ever going to get rid of that weird bunny.
I'll be rid of the hood. That's stupid.
stupid.
He doesn't even wear it. He doesn't need to wear it. That's terrible. That was a terrible design by the creators. I'm glad he doesn't wear it.
Well, because he was obsessed with All Might.
Okay, but
the last time he wore it was when him and Lemillion was out patrolling.
Yeah, stupid. But that looks stupid. Like, I'm glad he doesn't wear it.
Well, yeah, I think that's always going to be part of the costume, though. I think everything else will just change around him. He'll still have that weird hoodie.
I hope not. Because whenever they decide to do like a time skip until when they're adults, I hope he does not have that.
Yeah, but it's funny though, because he, like Al said, you don't really ever see him wear it, even though it's part of his costume. There's only like certain times, because like the fight scenes, whatever, they always have him wearing it.
Yeah, I think I've only seen him wear it twice. When they're first, everybody showing off their costume, like season 1, and then when he's out patrolling with Lemillion. Those are literally the only 2 times. Yeah,
that's true. But back to the support item that Hatsume's gonna make for him. Like All Might's like, oh yeah, I used to have a support item too, and he's like, it was great at long and medium range, but in short range he just basically destroyed it. So he's like, oh, I decided to get rid of it because I was just gonna use my body.
All Might also tells him how. So Midoriya also asks All Might, like, did you have to struggle at this point? He goes, no. He goes, nah, when I got mine, I was able to do 100% right off the jump.
Right, because he's like, I envisioned it. So I think he's trying to not, like, influence Midoriya, but just basically tell him, like, give him a little tip, like, hey, you need to visualize what you're doing, and you might be able to go 100%.
What do you want him to visualize? Like, the event happening, or
the process of it, I guess, like how...
Yeah, if you think about it, how he's like, okay, 20%, and he's like thinking about it on his body part. I think he needs to do that with his finger.
Yeah, visualize filling your body up with energy to that one. See yourself doing it so you could do it.
Right.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. So then, from there, it led us into...
Well, first, you see Midoriya afterwards, like, scrolling through YouTube, trying to find support item. All my support item. All my support item.
I'm actually surprised that he didn't know that already, though.
That's why he was so
going.
Mad.
Yeah, he's like, how can I not found this? How have I not seen this?
And then he accidentally pressed on the General Hero's
the Gentle Criminals
Gentle
YouTube.
Criminals little YouTube.
Right, so he goes in, he watches that short little video, and he's like, "Oh, how haven't they
Catch him yet?
caught this person yet?" And so then it cuts to the Gentle Criminal, and we get more backstory on him, and basically how La Brava came to be his sidekick. And so then we also find out La Brava's skill too, which is she's a hacker.
And a stalker.
And a stalker,
Okay,
yes.
I mean,
Because basically when General Criminal was starting off, like he had, and posted all his videos to YouTube, they were doing so bad, he got nothing but dislikes, and the edit, he was like, the editing wasn't there, but all of a sudden one day someone knocks on his door, and it's La Brava, and she's like, "Oh, I hacked your videos to find your address because I believe in you," and everything. And so then basically, near the end of this episode, she basically is like, confesses her love to him, which I think that we already knew that she loved him.
Well, so I always kind of seen like maybe they were like father and daughter, but now we know that they have no relation to each other.
Yeah.
And she's just a short person.
Yeah, she's probably older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it'd be kind of creepy if it was like a child.
Yeah.
Right.
So no, she's not a kid, and she's just short.
Right. So, also with La Brava, I guess, I don't know, we don't really know if she has a quirk or not. I mean, we know that she says she's a hacker, so she's either a hacker or her quirk's kind of hacking, because basically, also, too, they wind up laying out their plan to attack the UA, which is very ridiculous.
The plan is terrible. At least the first half of it's terrible. It literally just wastes time.
Right. So basically, he's like, we have to go down this alley because there's not many heroes that patrol this area. And then he's like, we have to go to this tea shop. And the tea shop, there's something weird about interesting about the tea shop, because it's like next to a hardware place, and no one really knows about the tea shop because of the hardware place like mask it, and the tea shop only looks like a house and it's overgrown with moss. He's like, they only have 6 customers, that true customers that come there, and the only reason he goes there is because they sell his favorite tea, which is the Gold Tips Imperial, which is the name of the title as well. So but then he's like, we're going to make it to the tea house, and we're going to spend 90 minutes there. Well, why do you need to spend 90 minutes at a tea house for?
That whole first part of the plan is a waste of 3 hours.
Right. And then, he says that after that, he has to go into the forest before he gets to the UA school. But while he's doing that, that's where the heightened security that has happened, and they have Hound Dog patrolling the area. So he's like, since Hound Dog's patrolling the area, I got to, rub dirt and leaves on me so he doesn't sniff us out, and then we'll make it to UA. And then La Brava's like, this is where I come in, because, she brings up a key, so I'm curious if the key is part of her quirk or that's her hacker thing. And she's like, I'm going to hack the security, the gate security, and turn it off, because as we know that if you're not part of the UA, you can't get through the gates. Yeah, they'll close and lock and everything. So she's like, I got to hack this, the gate, and she's going to turn off everything. And so that's where they lay out their plan, and kind of episode ends. But to backtrack a little bit, we also find out that Principal Nezu is also under stress, because basically the higher ups and the government has said that, hey, if something happens at the school festival, even if it's just a drill or whatever, that they basically have to stop the school festival and evacuate.
Yeah. So they can't afford any mishaps to go wrong during this school festival.
Right.
And that's why I see Jizzle coming up short in this in his little plans.
I mean, all he has to do is throw a stick over there, and then.
But I feel like he's gonna try to do something. Like he's gonna get in there, and then they're gonna like, oh yeah, this was part of the act or whatever. I feel like he's gonna get swept away as like he's gonna be a gag character. I just don't think he's gonna do anything meaningful.
He could be the most powerful of all the villains.
No, because this is clearly a filler time.
I think we forget
he's a gag filler character.
He still took down 4 heroes by himself.
Trash heroes.
A hero's still a hero.
Right, because we still don't know his quirk, which I don't know if it has to do something with flying or what, because like
Apparently, it is very noticeable though.
Right, it is very noticeable. Because that's where they, because during the plan, I was like, "You're not going to use your quirk," and he's like, "No," because they have people overhead searching, and basically they would see him doing it.
Yeah, so that's why we know that he can't use his quirk until after he gets into UA.
Right.
So do you think he'll take out a lot of the teachers?
Hell no.
No, because Eraser couldn't just erase everything.
That's one person. And again,
I mean, think you're the only person that thinks he's good. I don't think.
What if he's that one person that he can just bypass Eraserhead?
I don't think so, because there's all the other teachers that are there, and we know they're pretty top tier heroes. I mean, the heroes that he took out were not here. Yes, they were heroes, but I think they were sidekicks.
Oh, because they weren't in the top 10?
Yeah.
No, they were nowhere near the top 10.
Yeah.
The students probably could body them.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, but what I guess from here, I mean, do you think we're actually going to get to finally see the school festival the next episode?
No,
do you think?
Not at all. I think the next episode is going to be the start of the festival. We get to see the dance, the plays, the beauty contest, and then as it ends, that's where we're going to see like the general criminal about to make his
What they hit us with another practice episode, and then
I'd be a little upset. I'd be like, oh my god.
I know. I think we might get 2 more filler. I wouldn't say filler episodes, but like lead up episodes to the general criminals plan, because I think we're going to be able to see. They'll probably show us like the other classes and what they're doing. The beauty pageant.
Yeah, we still didn't see them give Erie the tour. Like it was literally about to start it, and then they cut to. So we still got to see her take a tour.
Yeah, that's true too.
So they might waste the whole episode on giving Erie a tour.
Tired of these fillers.
Yes, I know you want action. I want action, but
I want to see.
I like some of these fillers because I mean they're fun. You get funny stuff within it, like this one with the going over the beauty pageant and everything. That was funny.
Oh yeah, so I'm curious. Actually, I'm kind of curious to like see who this number 1 person is and see how they keep winning.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of curious about that.
Right.
But we'll see that during the actual festival.
Yep. All right. Check us out next week for next week's episode.
I'm Ron from Chicago.
I'm MC2K.
I'm Asian Nick.
Don't forget to like and subscribe button. You forgot it again.
No, you have to say that first, and I say it's free.
That's right.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.
It's free.
That's right.
There we go.
Bye.